So joining me in our session titled What Happens to My Dynamic GP Add-on Solutions is Tracy Santos, who is our Customer Experience Manager, and Arcadia Balco, who is an account executive. So thank you both for joining us today, and I'll pass it on over to you.
Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. We just want to thank you for registering for our event today that focuses on the Dynamic GP add-ons. We do appreciate you taking the time to take a deeper dive into the future of our software and other software that's offered. For the presentation today, the agenda is as follows. We'll be going over Microsoft Dynamics GP add-on solutions, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, Microsoft Apps, and finally, reporting tools. And I'll pass it off to Tracy now.
Awesome, great. Well, welcome everyone. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. And as you can see behind me, it's very cloudy and gray, and we're supposed to be getting a storm. But I'm super excited to be here. This is the second session in our second track for today. Again, it's a quick topic, but it's a topic that I'm sure people are curious about. And I am going to kind of walk you through some of the questions that I know I've been asking myself, having been in this Dynamics GP world for about 24 years. I started at a very young age. There's been a lot of add-on products come to light over that time. And so we're going to be kind of going through maybe some questions that you've been having. So when we think about an add-on solution, early on in Dynamics GP or Great Plains Life, as many of you know it, they were created to help users extend and enhance the capabilities of their GP system. So GP was a horizontal application that could suit many vertical industries, many companies. Again, it didn't go deep into certain areas, and so these add-ons kind of bridge that gap. So for example, even you might not be aware, but the Canadian payroll, US payroll, those were separate products, and then they were brought into GP. The whole not-for-profit suite was a separate product and was brought into GP. And then there were applications that were part of core GP that got spliced out and separated, and those are add-on products. So again, we've got kind of that mixture. So again, they were created to have fit gaps that existed. And we have all different types of, so some of them are seamlessly integrated. So when you're in Dynamics GP, you might not even be aware that you are using an add-on product, or they could be outside of the product itself. So example, a requisition solution, you don't need all of your users going into GP, so they'll be doing their requisitions outside of it, or expenses, and then it integrates into GP. So different things. So again, some of the popular ones, Auditor, Smart List Builder, Collections Management, Smart Connect, Scribe. Those are integration tools. So it was funny, we put together a lot of data over the last few months saying, great, what types of add-ons do our clients have, and how do we kind of work with them on what it might look like if they're going to transition to Business Central. And so we were putting them into these different buckets. So again, integration was the number one add-on that our clients had. Again, they wanted to automate things and increase productivity, and so those integration tools like Smart Connect really come in handy. And then we talk about add-on solutions, reporting tools, let's say, for example. So many of you might be familiar with Jet Reports or Profix or using Excel. So again, we, before kind of data visualization came along in different products like, Power BI, et cetera, we used Excel to create dashboards. And so we might still use Excel to connect to our Dynamics GP data. And we have those Excel refreshable reports. So again, we wanted to extend that ability for people to see that. So those tools came out of that world of needing those requirements and AP automation. We needed AP automation, so there was an add-on was built for that. And again, a lot of these industry standard products saw that, okay, we've got an opportunity because we can go and integrate to these different ERP solutions, requisition and PO tools as well. So when we look forward, what are our options? So again, we are working closely with all of these different ISV companies, and Microsoft is as well. And some of them have transition offers. So for example, The application works with Dynamics GP, and it will also work when you transition to Business Central. And again, it might be ERP agnostic, so if they don't really care which ERP you're on, you can still use that application. Or the solution may no longer be needed. So there might have been a gap in Dynamics GP, but there isn't that gap in Business Central. And then there's also Appsource, which I'm going to show you a screenshot of that. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Lots of apps that would fill requirements, or there might be a gap that you need, or you want to have expenses, or there are thousands of them apps that are out there. And again, you can try them out. There's free versions, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I shouldn't talk about that because I got a whole slide on that. I don't want to bore everyone. But again, Microsoft is working closely with our ISV community to say, great, how does your solution fit in this world going forward for Business Central? So again, we definitely want to be able to sit down and go over your add-ons with you to say, okay, what is needed, what isn't needed, etc. So when we think about Dynamics 365 Business Central, we see that it's got financial management, project management, operations management, all of these components. So again, something that might have been missing in Dynamics GP is readily available out of the box in Business Central, so you wouldn't need an add-on. So for example, we have the ability to change a master record. Well, you use a tool in GP to do that, but again, with the proper security permissions, if I created a customer ID, I can go and change that right on that same screen. So again, don't need that tool to do that. Or an account, a GL account. If someone goes and creates the wrong number or a wrong dimension, you can go and override that and update that and change that. You don't need a tool to do that or an add-on. So again, we look at the rich functionality, that ability to use out-of-the-box functionality that I don't need an add-on for. So again, there's a screenshot of some of that functionality. And going a little bit deeper in here, again, if I'm going to do EFT, if I'm going to do bank reconciliation, maybe I need to be able to do some opportunity management, all of that functionality, I see that out of the box, as well as the document exchange service. So again, if I want to have that AP automation or that whole document management solution where I have OCR, again, that's out of the box. So again, just going through some of, and this is with our essential license. All of this functionality is available to you out of the box. And so let's talk a little bit about Appsource. So various components of Appsource, and actually, which is really cool, I was looking at this yesterday, when you're inside of Business Central, it has a connection to Appsource, and you can type in, oh, I'm looking for a budgeting solution, or oh, I'm looking for AP automation, etc. You can type that in, it'll take you directly to which app would fill that need. So I went in off of the internet, and this is kind of what it looks like. I can go in and select my product, and what am I looking for? So I need a productivity tool? Am I looking for collaboration tool, etc. So again, there are variety of them. Again, back in the early day when this first started a few years ago, there wasn't as many, but you can imagine we've got all these traditional ISVs where you went out and purchased a product or purchased an add-on. Those are now available up in Appsource, and again, you can, some of them are free, or a free trial, so you can try them out and see if they would meet your needs, as well as you can go ahead and pay, and when you pay, it's software as a service, and again, you might need that solution, try that solution out, fits your needs, and you would just pay on a monthly basis like you would do any app that you would subscribe to. So again, that's available there to you. And again, those ISVs are making their products available upon Appsource, as well as you could go and create your own app. So again, you might find, and again, these are for our clients out there that like to get, roll up their sleeves and get into learning new tools. And so Power Apps, you could go and build an app and make that available. But again, these are, you'll see your familiar different ISVs, Rockton, for example, or E1, Alltech, all of those different suppliers that we worked with and we worked with for such a long time. They've retooled their solutions and made them available upon Appsource. So I'll just pause for a second here. Again, when you're working with your account manager, they can go through all your add-ons with you and kind of build you a map going forward to say, okay, great, you won't need that anymore, or, oh, that's ERP agnostic, you can continue to use that. Oh, this supplier ISV has a transition offer. So lots of choices and opportunities there for you in your path going forward for Business Central. So reporting tools, great. Well, I'm a Dynamics GP customer, and I have to tell you quickly this story. When I first started using how I started in this world, I was actually a client, and we had just bought Dynamics GP, and this is a lifetime ago, and we had bought it, and it was when the version was just going from DOS to Windows, I think it was, or it might have still been DOS, but it was going to Windows. And I had, of course, come from simply accounting ACPAC background, being an accountant by profession, where you basically, the application told you what your financial reports were going to look like. And here I started using Great Plains at the time, but FRX. What do you mean? I can build my own report? I can choose what's going to be in this report? This is fantastic. This is like the best thing ever. So of course, a lot of us are used to maybe using FRX in our previous pre-2013 life and Dynamics GP, and now we've got Management Reporter, we've got Excel refreshable reports, we might be using Jet reports, so we've got the ability to get to our data and surface that up the way we want to see, consume that the way we want to, and are we going to have that going forward? So when we look at going forward with Business Central, again, it has its own out-of-the-box reporting tools. So it has account schedules, which I compare that to like a management reporter tool. Again, full flexibility on how I want to look at the information. I really like it because it's got that kind of like cubing ability where I can change the parameters that are across the top and down the side and flip the data around the way I want to. So really, really like that part of it, and Excel reports. So again, we see that familiarity of, okay, great, I have Excel reports in Dynamics GP. They've built some income statements and balance sheets, etc., in Excel reports. So again, those come out of the box. And the Excel templates. Much like you're familiar with in Dynamics GP, we've got those Word templates. So you've got Word report layouts for things like invoices and purchase orders, etc. As well as you can use Power BI for doing your data visualizations. So again, if you're using your Office or Microsoft 365 and you're interested in exploring what Power BI would be like for you, you've got that ability too. And again, those Power BI dashboards can be right in your homepage in Business Central. It has very strong sorting, searching, and filtering capabilities. So again, you're familiar with using Smart Lists, where you can do that ad hoc reporting, sorting, searching, and filtering. And then we've got that ability is there, and they talk about Smart Lists coming soon. So something I don't know if anyone's mentioned it so far to you is, as they were developing Business Central, which is the new name for NAV, so Dynamics NAV, which you might have been familiar with before. When they were working with that and saying, great, Dynamics GP has some really awesome features. And so when you're in Business Central, you'll see, oh, that's just like it was in GP. And again, that Smart List, I think we like that a lot. So it's nice to know that they're working on getting that as well. But you do have that sorting, searching, and filtering capability right out of the box that'll allow you to do that. And then Jet reports. So again, in our ecosystem, when we knew that FRX was being replaced with Management Reporter, we were offering up other tools to our customer base as well. So in that ecosystem, some of you might have used Jet reports, and again, that would be continue on. You could use that in Business Central. So, and again, if you're wanting to learn more about Jet reports, please let us know. Lots of great things in there. It has Jet budgets and Jet reports and Jet analytics. So it has various components to it. So I told you that was going to be fast and painless. I can't believe it. I'm already finished. So I'll go to the next slide, which is our Q&A, if anyone has any questions.
Great. Thanks, Tracy and Arcadia. Yep, that's fun. We've got some questions here, so I'll just read that out for you.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. First question. So there seems to be a lot of apps in Appsource. If we move to Business Central, can Encore help recommend the best add-ons or apps that will suit our needs?
Absolutely.
Yes. Definitely. Go ahead, Tracy.
I was just going to say, it's just like when we go on and, use DoorDash, for example, or Skip the Dishes, or we're using any, Windows apps, and we can put ratings and etc. So we look at those, highly recommended. We also work with the ISVs a lot, so we've got a long history with a lot of them. So again, sometimes clients will come to me and say, Tracy, I found this. Is this going to fit my business? And so it's good because we can provide a different perspective, because when people, if I'm selling something, I'm telling you all of the good things about it. I might not be giving all of everything, the whole picture of it. Where we work with hundreds and hundreds of customers, we've got that experience, and we know which ones are going to be more applicable to your business and meet your needs. Again, when someone builds something, they might have it from their perspective, what works for them. And that's a great thing too about Appsource, is that you can provide feedback and say, great, I wish you would add this to it. And then they'll work with you to say, yeah, of course, that's a great piece of functionality. Of course, we should add that. But that's a great question. We definitely want to make sure that you're feeling supported, and that you've got all the functionality and productivity available to you. So yeah, great question. And it's interesting because I do get different types of feedback, because people say, well, I don't know, what if I don't like it? And it's like, well, if it doesn't work for you, that's fine, because you're paying on a monthly basis. So you could say, okay, I'll sunset that. I won't use that anymore. But great question.
Yeah, it gives you the ability to test it out, the whole software as a service licensing monthly. So I think that's also a good part about it. So.
Yeah, and Arcadia, isn't it true, like for some of the solutions that we've been selling, we've kind of noticed over the last, I don't know how long it is, at least 2 years, is that they have been offering subscription-based rather than buying it outright.
Definitely, yep. They definitely have started doing that.
Great. I have a couple more questions here, and everyone, please just put your questions in the question pane. If we don't get to them today, we will still respond to you separately in emails. So next one, what would happen to the Encore account reconciler?
Great question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, so those, from my analysis so far, you don't need that going forward. So that is one, we're going to be publishing more information about, like, okay, you've got these types of solutions. What does that mean in the new world? But from my initial analysis, you wouldn't need it, which is great.
Okay, great. Next question. We used Fund Vision. What will happen to Fund Vision?
Great. So that's one area I would say that, Fund Vision, we would probably look at saying, great, it's probably going to be ERP agnostic, and we continue to use it. And we can certainly work with you on that, because that is a very specific niche vertical for managing that part of your business. And I wouldn't say that functionality is readily out of the box with Business Central.
Okay, great.
I'm happy to get more information for you.
Great. Well, thank you both for answering those questions.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.